Hey everybody, welcome back to Marketing 100. I'm Kayle, your salon and spa business bestie, and I'm joined today, as always, by my good friend and the founder of the Salon Business, John Halberg. You know the deal by now. We are here to bring you 100 snackable, tactical marketing tips to help you level up your salon business game. Today is no different. Well, it's a little different because we're outside. I'm at least outside, and it's hot as shit out here. John's got a spicy one for you today. He's got one that's going to help you get some perspective, right? It's going to help you get over yourself a little bit and focus and prioritize. John, what are we talking about today?
As a salon owner, you are doing everything around your business. So how do you prioritize among all these different things that you have to deal with? That's what I want to focus on today. There are a few kind of like frameworks, tips. I haven't come up with them, but they've somehow stuck with me through my career. So I wanted to give that to you. First one is about decision making. When it comes to like how to make decisions and how to kind of spend the right amount of time on your decision making. You might like Jeff Bezos, you might not like Jeff Bezos. I think he has a couple of good points here and there that he drops. And one was this thinking. I don't even know if he came up with it, but anyway, he was sharing this. It's around looking at decisions as either a one-way door or a two-way door. There are decisions you make that are really like walking through a two-way door. You can kind of walk through it. You can go into the room, look around, see what you like. If you didn't like it, you just walk out of that door again and you try another door. And then you have one-way door decisions, which is basically doors that you walk through and you cannot get back out. Or at least it's like really hard, really expensive, or it takes a lot of time and energy for you to work your way back out of that. A two-door decision could maybe be, right, you want to change the color of the wall in your back bar area from green to gray. You know, you do that and then it comes out not as you wanted it. Just repaint it right the next day. It's not a huge cost to do that. You can sort it out and you move on. And then you have these like one-door decisions. There's obviously the big ones like, okay, I'm going to open up a new unit. For example, I want to open up a new location. Making that decision, like the commitment that you're making to that financially, it's going to take a year until you can really even evaluate if this was a good decision to make or not. And if it wasn't, you cannot just back out of that. You're going to have to let go of people. You're going to have to deal with a lot of stuff, right? Now, that's really like a big one. There's also these smaller one-way door decisions. Maybe you're hiring, you bring a new person on board, you need to bring them in, you need to train, you need to invest. Maybe it's not the right one. Yes, you can let go of that person, but it's like, it's cost, it's time invested. How does that look, on the team overall? So I think there's like a scale for what is a two-way door decision, what is a one-way door decision. But I think it's helpful to just think about that because you soon realize that actually a lot of the decisions that you make are two-way door decisions. So it kind of gives you freedom, but you can actually move fast, try, and change your mind.
I think a lot of people don't make decisions or they're scared to make decisions because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to go back. You know, you're not going to be able to change your mind or make a different decision, and that could be a problem. Figuring out what you can change and what you can't change is an important part of growth.
Another framework that is a bit of a classic one. You might have heard about it before, the Eisenhower matrix, which is the urgency importance matrix, where you have like 4 different quadrants, right? In the top left corner in quadrant 1, you have these tasks that are both important and urgent. And then you have to the right of that, you have those that are important but not urgent. And then below in quadrant 3, you have these that are not important but urgent. And then you have those things that are not important, not urgent. If you're looking at your to-do list, start to think about, is this kind of a quadrant 1 type of work or is it a quadrant 2? Things that are important and urgent are stuff that we get every day, right? We have a client that is not happy with what they got as a service. It's really important that we deal with this or we're going to get a bad review and we need to like meet that. We need to face that. It's with urgency. It's happening now. We need to respond to it. And then you have those things that are important but not urgent. Like, oh, I need to develop the team. I need to work on my brand. I need to start thinking about structuring my operations in a better way. This is the area where we tend to spend too little focus. We tend to focus our attention more on the things that are like yelling at us. You know, when the call goes off, like a phone goes off, someone is calling you, that's like calling on urgency, like you're picking that up. It's urgent, but it might not even be important. And then you have those things that are not important, neither are they urgent. Those things we probably just shouldn't even care about. But we often spend time on things that are not important, but they're urgent. And we keep like just getting interrupted through the days, the squeaky wheels. We turn our attention to that and the day passes and we've been doing stuff that seemingly was very urgent, but is not really important for moving your business in the direction you want your business to go. The more time you spend in quadrant 2. Basically, the things that are not urgent, but they are important, the less urgent stuff you will eventually get, and you will move your business in a direction that is more in line with where you actually wanted to go.
As a business owner, you oftentimes have a lot better things to spend your time on than just the trivialities of the daily business. And that's not to say that the daily aspects of the business are trivial, but there are many aspects that you're not necessarily going to add something amazing to the equation beyond what your front desk manager could do, or an assistant manager, or something along those lines, like somebody else you trust that's you have in place to help run things. Part of growing a business and succeeding in the business world is knowing what to delegate. Don't just spend all your time with busy work, because that is a waste of your time.
So that is the Eisenhower matrix. You probably have been exposed to that before. I think it's just some helpful principles for like where to spend your time to have more impact. The next kind of framework that I come back to quite often, this is coming from Stephen R. Covey, and it's about like the circle of influence, the circle of concern, and the circle of control. In our life, in our business, there are things that we have like direct control over, things that lives in our circle of control, like decisions we can make right now and have full control over, right? Then you have another circle outside the circle of control, which is the circle of influence, which is basically decisions and change that is controlled by other people, but we do have an influence, even though we might not have direct control over it. And then you have the third layer outside of that, which is our circle of concern. Things that goes on around us in the world, in our business, that is outside our control. Like we cannot really do anything about it. Changes in, politics that is changing things, that is impacting us, that we might be very frustrated about. But it's outside our control. There could be things that are closer to us as well, that is just like not in our control, but it does impact us. We can fall into spending too much of our energy on things that are in our circle of concern that we cannot actually do anything about. And we kind of put ourselves in this victimized position where we kind of just going around blaming stuff on what's happening that we cannot control anyway. You cannot really make any positive change come out of that. Maybe it's the landlord who's making decisions, or maybe it's like you're located in a mall or whatever. They're making decisions outside you that is really frustrating. But if you start to think about what is in my circle of influence, like what could I do? Maybe I could invite for like a lunch with someone who is actually involved in those type of decisions and just like build relationship with people, start to kind of like understand where they're coming from, listening to why they're doing what they're doing, sharing your opinions, and you can kind of slowly start growing more of that circle of influence and actually gain more control and have more impact with what you want to do.
One of the greatest lessons that I ever learned was like, if it's something that I'm worried about, but not something that I can actively impact in any way, then it's not worth spending my time focusing on. There's other things you can spend your time on that are more worthy of your time and that you can actually positively impact.
We've talked about Eisenhower, urgency importance matrix. We've talked about the circle of influence, circle of control. We've also talked about one-way doors and two-way doors for decision making. I hope those frameworks will help you prioritize better how you spend your time so that you get your business to growth, because that is what Marketing 100 is all about.
Damn straight and well said, John. That's what we've got for you today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Marketing 100. We have plenty more snackable, tactical marketing tips for you.
And we look forward to seeing you in an upcoming episode.